running for president, but I do agree. It's yeah. Yeah, I mean, I find great humor in the fact that a politician can go up, say one thing this week, next week change their mind 100%, and for some reason we accept it. That just doesn't make a lot of sense, you know.
People don't question anything.
No, people don't question enough. People take a lot of things for granted. Just because you put PhD or something at the end of your name, you're given instant credibility at how many people actually check where your PhD is from if it's an accredited school. Nobody background checks like that. It costs money. People don't want to waste the time, the effort. I don't know. Any other thoughts? I'm trying to kill time. What do they do with those?
So it seems that most of the things you talked about really come down to an appeal to authority, whether it's perceived or actual. And that might be a key element to social engineering, is making some sort of appeal to authority, like I have this certification, or I have a PhD, or I know your manager, or whatever.
Well, yeah.
People want to give over to authority, so if you give them an authority to relinquish to, then they're more likely to go along with whatever program you're setting out for.
In generality, people are pack animals. Yeah, people are pack animals. We want to make people happy. We don't always want to be the leader or the follower, but we want to make other people happy. So, why am I up here to volunteer? I'm trying to make the con good, trying to make it interesting for people, trying to make people happy, educate. Other people, when you ask a person for help and you're sincere, they want to help you, so they try to. They actually said that in one of the little books. But if it's only an appeal to authority, I guess we should all be running around in suits, ties, or the police uniform type things, because that makes people respect you more, supposedly. The dark blue is, supposed to bring authority or something.
Like the character on Law and Order always says, "Oh, we're authorized."
Yeah, probably.
Without being just say it. We're authorized. It's fine.
Yeah.
I did that once in.
We don't need no badges.
Exactly. I did that once in Italy. I was for a school project. There was this museum that has outside of Rome that has plaster casts, like all the famous statues of Roman antiquities from all over the Mediterranean. But sort of in typical Italian fashion, 80% of it was closed for repairs, so you could really only get like 2 rooms. And we were supposed to do the school report, and so we really just kept asking different people until we found a maintenance. And every time they would say, "No, it's closed," and we'd say, "We have to go there for school," until we found a maintenance man. We said, "We have to go there for school," and he was like, "Oh, okay," and he just took us back there. And it was all. And then anytime anybody came through, they said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "Oh, it's fine." And they were like, "Oh, okay." And granted, that was Italy.
Here it would work too.
Yeah.
If you have the
I agree with what he says. A lot of times you can't just walk into a place and if you act like you have an air of authority, they won't even question you. So I think, do you have any comment on Mitnick's book? Have you read any?
I've read part of it. Every time I start reading it, something else I need to work on or read or do something with comes up. So, priority.
I was on the press team for a basketball game, and they didn't give you any kind of name tags or anything. And all the time, people would go to stop you, from getting behind lines and stuff. And they'd go to stop you, and you get ready to talk and keep walking, and they just like that.
I had a guy who I knew a guy there was a salesman too. It's interesting. He used to be an engineer and turned into a salesman. Scary thought. But he would always, when he wanted to get from point A to point B and not be interrupted by people, he would get a wrench or a tool of some sort, put a phone up to his ear, nobody'd be on it, he'd hold the wrench and walk wherever it was. If somebody tried to stop him, he'd just hold up the wrench and act like he was on a mission for whoever was on the phone, and that would be more important, obviously, and he would just keep walking. I started doing it. It worked. Usually I was on the phone, but the couple of times that I wasn't, it got me through, and I was like, wow, pretty sad. Yeah?
So what level 2, what did they do stop you? Where you say unauthorized, and they say by who? And how do you react to that?
Each situation's different. That's why I was saying I'm planning actually when I get time to take a class on improvisation, just because A lot of it's wit. If you're able to give an answer, how would you, yeah, how good a bullshitter are you? Would you be willing to say to the guy, you know, you're in a room you're not supposed to be, but what's the situation? Are you setting up equipment? Are you just hanging out, chilling?
Well, the easiest way I've found is to know your target.
Yeah, I mean, you need more
What their
background.
jargon is, and even though you may not understand what their jargon is, you can still act like one of them by throwing around a lot of words.
Or
You
people.
walk into a Verizon ILEC and all of a sudden they're like, blah, 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 well, I've got to get into this room, or I've got to get into that room, a little too connected. And you just kind of, convince the security guard at the front, even though you don't have a badge, you just walk in the front door.
Hi, I have a work order. I'm supposed to fix this computer. Where the heck is, or even go up to the guy. You know, a person walks into a room and you're not supposed to be there, walking up to somebody saying, oh, good, somebody's here to help. You know, hi, can you help me find this room or this spot? I am lost and I'm supposed to do this. Yeah, empathy, going back to that. I was at places doing rallies and things in my youth, and we were there, and we had like 50 people that had shown up, and we were going to basically have a protest type thing, and we found out that we won before we had won. Yet all these people were there, so, you know, we got stopped. I was sitting there talking to the administrator of this place. We were outside, and a police officer that was there, and all that, and I went, you know what, I don't have a good answer to you of, you know, who has a permit that we needed. So I walked over to the 3 other guys that were with us that were the administrators and said, hi, you guys, I'm being asked currently for the paperwork, and I know we don't have any, but I'm going to be over here for a few minutes while I come up with another good line before I go back over there so they feel like I've been talking to you. I went back and said, you know what, they screwed up. All the other people that were supposed to be doing that part of the work didn't get the paperwork filed, didn't check with the people they were supposed to. We were here and just going to have a party outside in celebration of whatever it was. And they didn't want to turn us away because they saw that we were, you know, they felt we were going to do something good for them. And they didn't know about the other parts, so they just let us do it. Just because it looked like empathy again, yeah.
Well, I've also got it too, where I actually got stopped by the local county sheriffs, and I didn't even know, you know, I didn't know the police structure or how they work, but it was just, you could tell he was a young greenhorn sheriff deputy straight off the line, and he stops and he starts being a real dick to me, and I'm like, do you want me to call Sheriff Tim? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you want me to call Sheriff Tim? I have got his personal home phone number. Do you want a job tomorrow? And he's like, oh, you know Sheriff Tim? I'm like, yeah, I know Sheriff Tim. You know, and it was this guy's name that was plastered all over political ads 3 months earlier. I didn't know the guy, but I just bullshitted my way out of the ticket. He's like, oh, okay, sir, have a nice day. And he handed me back my stuff and let me go.
There you go.
So, you know, sometimes you gotta act like a dick or act like you got more authority than you know. To me, that young kid, he probably just got his job. He didn't want to lose his job right away. And I knew the sheriff, you know. He was just this lowly brand new deputy. Yeah, I thought that was a little funny.
But in the same situation, that probably wouldn't have worked with somebody who'd been on the force for 20 years and looked like he was on the force for 20 years. So like you said, it's knowing your situation and knowing the environment in which you're playing in. Also, I think if you don't have the fear of losing, because you know that, you know, the worst that's going to happen to you in some cases, you're going to get what you deserved or were going to normally get. So, you know, throwing caution to the wind a little bit in whichever way you decide to play it helps. You know, any other thoughts? Come on, somebody who hasn't said something or shared some experience of interest.
He went in and he had to take his shirt on, he was pushing the trash. He went up to the door and forgot his keys, so he came across the 2-way. There was a classroom over on the other 2-way and threw his ass. And at the end of which he said, don't worry about it. Or let us right in.
Wow.
Yeah, cleaning people are the weakest link in the security chain. I've done that. I actually got fired from a place, and they wouldn't give me my shit back, and they told me to come back Monday Monday morning. I said, fuck that. And I went back Saturday night. I waited till the cleaning crew at like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I walked in and I'm like, oh man, I got this big project due. Can you get me in? And it was, and nothing against anybody that's Latino, but it was a Hispanic guy. He barely spoke any English. And guess who's got access to the entire goddamn building? The cleaning crew. Zip, let me back in. I took my crap and hightailed it out of there.
Where I'm at, the cleaning crew doesn't have access to our security areas, so
A lot of times they leave the doors open. You just walk
that's,
right in.
yeah, it's a good reason not to let them in.
Cleaning crews are really good at cleaning security.
Yeah, that is true. Always be nice to the secretaries and the cleaning crew, I've been told. Makes life a lot easier. Anybody else have something to share of interest? Okay, or even not interest? Yeah.
A good example of social engineering is the Breaking Vegas series on the History Channel. Card sharks.
Oh, yeah.
You'll BS your way on a table when they go on to you.
They'll hire strippers to go to the tables so that the security guards all focus on them. Meanwhile, they're
Oh, yeah.
or they'll hire people that have been profiled by the casinos as not being intelligent enough for counting cards, but they've already taught them how to do it, or they use the signals. So was it Ben Mez? What's the guy's name? Did the book? What's his name? Ben. MIT students.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that would make sense, because to me, if I was gonna send somebody in, I'd send in some disheveled-looking bastard that hadn't had a haircut in 4 years,
Right.
versus somebody that was clean cut that walked up to the table that you would immediately suspect.
Yeah, they exploited profiling, they exploited distractions. So they, the strippers, then they'd have older guys from Texas that are loudmouths, very boisterous, have girls in their arms. Hey, I'm just gonna throw some money down. And meanwhile, these guys are doing their signals, and everybody's focused on this guy that's very outgoing.
Yeah, it's very hard to break into Vegas. They got security everywhere, and they all share data. So if you get profiled one, you're profiled pretty much all of them.
I grew up in Vegas, and my mother, she worked in Cage, and she told me a story which I always found interesting. There was a high roller down there. He was up a couple $100,000 and doing great on the tables. And they called her out and told her to stand at the end of the table. And within 20 minutes of being there, the guy dropped everything he'd won. He was superstitious about a woman being at the table while he played. And just her presence there was enough to just throw that.
How did they tell that though?
Hmm?
How could they tell that though?
They knew the guy. He was a high roller. He
Oh, they knew
had
the
him
guy?
profiled. They knew he had a thing about women at the table. So
Well, I didn't know if they had some sort of background or dossier on them or something that they knew.
Yeah.
Like a mini little CIA, little Las Vegas.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, probably better funded than the government. I'm surprised.
They figured out that the green and red colors of the track tables are the two most relaxing. They put the oxygen in to keep you awake, and they don't put clocks on the wall. They've definitely got it worked out.
The light always looks like it's about 5 o'clock out.
That way you never realize you've been there for 8 hours.
Drinks are watered down. You only get drinks when you're doing good. Otherwise, they leave you alone. You have to almost beg for them. Yeah.
Sounds like you've been there before.
Once,
Well,
actually.
yeah, that would
Only
make
once.
sense, if you're half drunk, then you're not going to be as intuitive to be able to, gamble.
Play correctly.
Yeah, play correctly, so you're just going to blow everything.
Yeah, you don't get drinks a lot if you're sitting at the nickel slots don't do real well. You get a little bit more the higher up the numbers are on them. I don't know. Let's see. I'm also supposed to let people know, anybody here in the Cleveland or this area, Tri-C, Cuyahoga Community College is also doing a forensics class this summer. I have some pamphlets. There are some upstairs in the free stuff room. So prices are reasonable. 2-day class is going to be like $200. The 1 week is, I think, like $700. Taught by a guy that's kind of local to this area, a really good guy. Took the class with him, learned a lot.
What's his history?
What's his history? You know his. Glenn. Yeah.
He used to be a forensics.
Investigator for the Department of Labor, and and he's retired, and he